in our journey of trying to lose weight, we were trying to exercise. So we got some Groupons to go kayaking. That was seniors. We went to get in the kayak with us being bigger women. The guy couldn't hardly push us over. So I was sitting in the front and Tonia was sitting in the back. And we just couldn't make it work because as I was going one way and she was going the other, all of a sudden it turned us around and started going backwards. And we started bumping into other kayakers. We were bumping into logs with turtles on them that were showing for safety into the water. And finally Tonia was like, Miranda, stop, pick it up, just let me do it. So I would pick my paddle up and I would just start taking pictures of us. But when we would get to where other kayakers were, I didn't want to appear lazy, so I would just start pretending. And she was like, what are you doing? I was like, look, they don't know that I'm not doing it. So we had all sorts of fun things like that. We spent hours talking. We would go to Barnes and Nobles and do personality tests. I think one time Trey was with us and they took a test and it said both of them would most likely end up in jail together. We spent a lot of time talking about her family, and then in the later years we spent a lot of time talking about God and the Bible. And we were talking about if either one of us died, aside from Jesus and family, who in the Bible did we most want to meet? You know, Moses or David or Daniel or Paul. And then we would start contemplating and talking about things we had read, and I would question her off the book of Revelation. And she had all these books that she had read on Revelation that she would pass along to me to help me read and understand it. And then if I had questions, I would say, well, ask your daddy about this, or ask your daddy about that, like I had read. And I said, ask your daddy, didn't Moses have a speech impediment? Is that, I was reading this and it said he didn't want to talk. He wanted Aaron to talk for him. And rereading it, don't you think he had a speech impediment? And she would get so tired and she would say, look, just let me give you his telephone number. You know it's good for her. She's going to miss her family. And I thank y'all for the opportunity she gave me to be there when she passed. And it was a sweet goodbye. And I just heard that I'll get where she's at, and we can pick up our conversation about who we most wanted to meet in heaven. And I'm here for y'all. I can't beg you.
I started working at NCJUA in 2016, and around 2018, Tonia came up and she started working with us. And you know, Tonia had no filter. She wanted to say that. And I would tell her, I didn't know this lady at all. And I turned around and I said, you need to go to sensitivity class. And that started our friendship. And every day I had this jacket on the back of my chair, and she said, "What is that?" I said, "It's my sorority's jacket." She said, "I want to be in your sorority." And I said, "Tonia, we're gonna take care of that." And that went on for years and years. And I would go somewhere. She said, "You went to a sorority meeting without me, didn't you?" And my favorite one though was my birthday was last year, and I invited Tonia, and she said to me, "Am I going to be the only white girl at your wedding?" I said, "No, Tonia. You will be two of you all year." So y'all look out for each other. I just want to make you all that Tonia now is in the sorority, and I welcome her. So thank you.
Oh.
I have two stories, and I gotta determine which one I'm gonna tell first, because one of them is really funny, but a little off color, and the other one is very, very touching. So I think I'm gonna start with the off color one. When Tonia first caught cancer, I was really scared. She had already stolen my heart, and so I was really scared. So she came back to work, and I would see her, and I would just wave and keep going. And so one day she came in my office, and she's yelling at me, and she's like, "What is wrong with you? You are treating me differently." And I yell back, and I say, "Okay, you want to know? I am scared as S about your cancer." That's what I tell her. So she goes, "Well, you need to get yourself together and quit being the crybaby and go back to being the bee that you are." And I say, "Okay, take your A back to work then." My most touching moment with Tonia, outside of that one, recently my best friend of 53 years went through triple negative cancer. I told my friend about Tonia and her fight and her being a warrior. And then I told Tonia about my friend. And Tonia would call, she would pray with me. She prayed for my friend. And she sent me a card one day. And inside the card was a smaller card with a mustard seed. And she told me, "Keep the faith. You only need a mustard seed of faith." And so I actually shared that with my best friend, and my best friend said, "I gotta send Tonia a card. You gotta get me her address." And they exchanged cards through this journey. So when I think about Tonia, I think about the vivacious personality, right? And then I think about the fighter and the warrior, and in the midst of her fight, she is fighting for others. So she's an angel in heaven now, but she was an angel on earth too, guys. And I am very honored to have known her and to have known her family. Thank you.
I met Tonia at a young age. She was really good friends with my mom. And my mom is like someone that can read a whole book in 2 hours. So she was like, why should I buy a book? I can go to Barnes and Noble. So while she was doing that, me and Tonia would shoot the crap. And we would, look up these quizzes and these things. And so yes, we did end up most likely to end up in jail together. But there was something that I did right that I wanted to share. Also, side note, Tonia was there for me my 18th birthday when I jumped out of a plane and went skydiving. She was there. She was like, rock on. But I remember taking the quiz at Barnes & Noble, yeah. It proved we would most likely end up in jail. I remember she notarized my first car purchase. She was notary, if anyone didn't know that. I remember the cheetah print heels that she would wear, and that was like the coolest thing ever. And she wore it well, like, she knew how to work it. It really was her style. I can't count how many times she had my side hurting from laughing. She always knew how to make light of any situation. She was there for us even when some of ours weren't. But I cherish her so much, all of her different traits that I don't believe have been lost. I see her humor and accountability in Ken. I see her work ethic and empathy in Jessica, and her strength and understanding always in Brandon. So I don't think she's gone at all. I think she lives here within all of you, and I'm grateful for that.
Outside of my mom, Tonia is the closest thing to a second mom that I've ever known. I fully believe that she's here for me. She never let me down. I've told Jess and I've told Kim there's no way to go back to normal because she was so instrumental. But I can honestly say that I am changed because I knew her. Changed in that I want to be like her, that nothing scared her. And if it did, you didn't know it did. I would often go visit her in the hospital, and when I would go to be encouraging to her, I found that I left encouraged. Jess, Kim, Brandon, thank you for sharing your mom with me. You're lucky, and I'm lucky too.
I met Tonia in 2002 when I started at JUA. She wasn't just my coworker, she was my friend, and she was my sister. We would always joke about our love of Little House on the Prairie, Andy Griffin, and the Beard. And I told her I didn't know who loved Darius Rucker more, her or my cousin. And she said, well, I hate it for your cousin, he like white girls. I would call her in the morning before work, and I would send her encouraging scripture, and I would text her to check on her, and I would say, I don't expect you to call back, and she would call me. And after the conversation, I was the one that was encouraged, and I was supposed to be encouraging her. I'm glad to have known her. I will miss our talks. The only way that we can get off the phone is Kim when you call. We talk so much, my husband would come in the room, he'd be like, hey Tonya, and then I knew I was talking to her. Thank you for allowing me to say goodbye to her. I told her I loved her, I hope she'd do that. Anything that you guys need, I'm here for you because she loved all of you dearly. And I will miss her every day. But Tonia Cavender, thank you for being my friend.
Now that you're all crying, I'll tell you a fun story. I don't know how young we were, but she came, you know what story I'm gonna tell. I told her I was gonna tell this story one day at her funeral. She had all these Jock Jam CDs, and she came into me and Jessica and Brandon's room and said that we stole her CDs. And she tore our room apart. I'm talking about everything on the floor, mattresses, everything. And then she goes, and they were in her room. And tells us that we need to get our room cleaned up because it was a mess. So we have never let her live that down, never. There was a few times things like that happened, but she was a really good mom. And I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it again, that I would pick her in every lifetime, no matter with what we've been through with her, I would always pick her. And she loved all you guys very much. She talked about all of you. Some of it was good. But she really was our rock. And I know that we're gonna have to figure out how to get through this life without her. But like Trey said, she does live in all of us. And I think when those little moments come out, they will make me smile. But thank you all for coming today and being there for us. We have been overwhelmed with calls and texts and people bringing food and showing up. And you don't have to stop that part. But we really are grateful for you all, and we feel the love from all of you. So, thank you.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. We gotta be careful. We gotta take this picture frames back. She'd kill us if she do after 20 minutes. So, we do appreciate everybody coming out here to celebrate Tonia. Stay as long as you'd like, unless you have a time limit, I'm not sure. Enjoy your memories. Enjoy your love. But remember when you leave, love big, love hard. Oh, and Kim said I couldn't auction off the shirt that really is pissing her off right now.
I put a little note on it so people know why. we
Yeah,
made
y'all
it.
need to read the note to understand why that shirt would make her so angry. I love it. She has horrible children. Horrible children. So,